This walk takes us along the Roaches, a gritstone edge in the west of the Peak District. Welcome to the Gritstone Edge Walking Podcast. The Roaches are a gritstone edge on the west of the Peak District, just north of Leek. The rocks on top of the edge are broken up into a variety of interestingly shaped rock structures. This route walks along the length of the Roaches. The route also takes in Luds Church, one of the spectacular sights of the Peak District at the north of the Roaches, and Hen Cloud at the south of the Roaches, which is a fine triangular hill with some great views. Parking is alongside the road in one of the many lay-bys, but make sure you do park legally. From the roadside parking, the first stage is to walk along the road to Roach End, some 2 kilometres. The road is not very busy and has some great views over to the southwest, including the reservoir, Titlesworth Reservoir. There is, of course, good views up to the Roaches themselves. In particular, the view of the 5 clouds that are set below the edge itself is impressive. Once at Roach End, Luds Church can be reached by following the signposted path downhill, then through the forest. But this path through the forest is very muddy. A better way is to walk along the ridge to reach the wall. Here, take the path on the right that descends to reach the Luds Church path. Once at the path, follow the boardwalk left to get to Luds Church. Walk carefully down the steep steps and then through Luds Church itself. Luds Church itself is a vast split in the rock with huge vertical sides covered in moss. This is one of the spectacular features of the Peak District. Walk through the chasm to reach the end of Luds Church. Now retrace your steps back up through Luds Church, along the boardwalk, and turn right at the signpost to reach the ridge. It is a nice diversion here to go right north to climb to the obvious crags at the high point of the north of this ridge, from which there's a good viewpoint all around. Now turn south and walk down the ridge, retracing your steps to reach Roach End again. Cross the road and climb the hillside to reach the top of the Roaches. The rocks on top of this edge make for some interesting shapes. From here, continue along the top of the edge to reach the trig point. As with most trig points, there's a good view from here in all directions. It's north along the ridge, east over the White Peak District, south down the Roaches, and west over most of Cheshire. This path undulates, but always with good views to Ramshaw Rocks in the east and south down the Roaches. Towards the south end of the Roaches, the cliffs are high, so remember to take care near the edge, and you may be lucky to see some climbers on these popular crags. At the end of the edge, descend with care to the bottom of the crags. This path is steep and rocky. Continue south towards the wall. Go through the gate in the wall, and then the same at the next wall to reach the climb up Hen Cloud. This is a spectacular hill, triangular in shape. Climb to the top and take in the views over to the southwest. Now turn around, descend Hen Cloud to the wall, turn left to reach the road by the car. This is a very busy area, especially Luds Church, and this walk is much better without the crowds as it was on my visit. On my way to Luds Church, I followed the path through the forest, which was an error, as it is very muddy underfoot. Just as I was entering Luds Church, the person behind me, as they climbed down the steep steps, just said, "Wow." I reserved my wow moment for the rock formations along the top of the Roaches. These rocks really make some strange shapes, much different to the edges of the Eastern Peak District. This is a great walk in a new area of the Peak District for me, and it's good for me to explore these different areas. Thanks for listening to this Gritstone Edge Walking Podcast. The Roaches are an interesting set of edges with spectacular rock formations as well as some great views.
I hope this has inspired you to get out and onto the hills and moors of the Peak District. Details of this and many other walks are at the site gritstoneedge.co.uk. So until next time, bye and enjoy the outdoors.